Have you ever looked around your home and felt a subtle weight? A quiet pressure from all the things you've accumulated over the years? Or perhaps you found yourself sighing, thinking about the sheer volume of possessions, memories, and even obligations that fill your days. It's a common feeling, isn't it? As we approach those golden years, often around our 70s, many of us start to feel the growing burden of the things we own, the projects we've left undone, and even the emotional baggage we've unwittingly carried along. It's not just about physical stuff. It's about the mental space, the emotional energy, and even the precious time that these things quietly demand from us. The painful reality for many is that this accumulation can lead to a sense of being overwhelmed, rather than the peace we hoped for in later life. It can make moving simpler, enjoying grandchildren harder, and even leave our loved ones with an enormous task should we need to downsize or move on. But there's a secret to living lighter, feeling more free, and truly embracing this vibrant stage of life. It's about intentionally letting go. In this video, we're going to explore 6 specific areas, 6 kinds of things we can thoughtfully declutter before turning 70, allowing us to step into our next decade with genuine lightness and joy. We'll talk about everything from the items taking up space in your cupboards to the thoughts taking up space in your mind. It's about creating room for what truly matters. Watch to the end for something that will surprise you. Now, let's talk about the first big one. A topic that usually comes to mind when we hear the word declutter are unused physical possessions. Think about the spare room that's become a storage unit, the overflowing wardrobe filled with clothes you haven't worn in years, or the kitchen cupboards brimming with gadgets you used once, maybe twice, and then put away. It's not just about having too much stuff. It's about the silent burden it places on us. Each item demands a little piece of our mental energy. Whether it's the guilt of not using it, the effort of cleaning around it, or the worry about what will happen to it someday. Many of us hold on to things for a variety of reasons. I might need it someday. It was a gift. It has sentimental value. Or even, I paid good money for that. But often, someday never comes. The sentimental value can be preserved through a photograph, or by passing the item to someone who will truly cherish and use it. Holding on to things because of the money spent means we're allowing a past decision to dictate our present space and peace of mind. The sheer volume of accumulation can feel overwhelming, a mountain too high to climb. My friend Margaret, for instance, had a garage so packed with old furniture, tools, and boxes from decades ago. She couldn't even park her car in it. Every time she looked at it, she felt a pang of stress. A reminder of a task perpetually unfinished. When she finally tackled it, starting with just one small corner each week, she told me she felt a physical lightness, like a huge weight had been lifted from her shoulders. So, how do we begin? The secret isn't to try and do it all at once. Start small. Pick one drawer, one shelf, or even just one category of items like old magazines or out-of-date spices. Ask yourself, have I used this in the last year? Does it bring me joy or serve a real purpose in my life right now? If the answer is no to both, consider letting it go. Donate items in good condition to charity. Offer them to friends or family who could use them. Or sell them online if they have value. For items that are truly broken or beyond repair, dispose of them responsibly. Imagine the clarity of having less to manage, less to clean, and more space for the activities and people you truly love. It's not about minimalism, but about intentional living, surrounding yourself only with what supports your current life and future aspirations. Then, we'll move on to something you might not have considered as clutter, but it can be just as burdensome: our digital clutter. In today's world, our lives aren't just lived in our homes, they're also lived on our phones, computers, and tablets. Think about the thousands of unread emails in your inbox, the blurry duplicate photos on your phone, the apps you downloaded once and never opened again, or the overflowing desktop on your computer. This digital accumulation might not take up physical space, but it absolutely consumes mental space and can even become a source of anxiety. Each notification, each overflowing folder, is a tiny mental tug, reminding us of tasks undone or information overload. Just like physical clutter, digital clutter can make it harder to find what you need, slow down your devices, and even pose security risks if you're holding on to sensitive information you no longer need. My nephew, a tech-savvy young man, recently helped his grandmother sort through her tablet. She had over 5,000 photos, many of them blurry duplicates or screenshots she didn't remember taking. It took them an afternoon, but by the end, she had organized albums, deleted unnecessary files, and discovered photos of family moments she hadn't seen in years because they were buried under the digital mess. She told me it felt like clearing out a dusty attic in her mind. So, what can we do about it? Start with your email inbox. Unsubscribe from newsletters you never read. Delete old promotional emails or messages you no longer need. Consider creating folders for important emails you want to keep. Next, tackle your photos. Dedicate some time to going through them, deleting duplicates or poor quality shots, and organizing the rest into albums. This makes them easier to find and enjoy. Then, look at the apps on your phone or tablet. If you haven't used an app in months, chances are you don't need it. Delete it. On your computer, organize your documents into clear folders and delete old files, downloads, or duplicate versions. Regularly back up your important files to an external drive or cloud service. Then delete them from your main device if they are no longer actively needed there. This isn't just about freeing up storage. It's about freeing up your mind. Creating a clearer digital environment that supports your daily interactions with technology, rather than overwhelming them. Embracing this digital decluttering frees you from constant digital distractions and allows you to enjoy the benefits of technology without its hidden costs. Now that we've discussed the tangible clutter of our homes and the less obvious digital clutter, let's talk about something even more insidious. Something that can weigh on our hearts and minds, unfinished projects and commitments. We all have them. That half-finished knitting project tucked away in a basket. The ambitious plan to write your family history that stalled on chapter 1, or the various community roles you've taken on over the years, some of which no longer spark joy or feel fulfilling. These aren't just benign items. They are open loops in our minds. Each one represents an unfulfilled promise to ourselves or others, quietly draining our energy and creating a subtle sense of guilt or overwhelm. Think about it every time you walk past that stack of papers for a project you haven't started. Or think about that committee meeting you dread. You're expending mental energy. It's like having multiple tabs open in your brain, each one slowing down your overall processing speed and making it harder to focus on what truly matters now. My cousin, David, was always an incredibly active man, involved in numerous clubs and societies. As he approached his late 60s, he started feeling constantly exhausted and irritable, yet he couldn't pinpoint why. We eventually realized he was stretched too thin, holding on to commitments that had run their course or projects he simply no longer had the passion or time for. Once he gracefully stepped down from a few roles and gave himself permission to abandon a couple of long-standing personal projects. He felt an immediate lift. He found he had more energy for his grandchildren and hobbies he truly enjoyed. So, how do we declutter these mental obligations? Start by making an honest inventory. Write down every unfinished project, every lingering commitment, every should that's been floating in your mind. Once you see them all laid out, you can begin to be strategic. For each item, ask yourself, is this still important to me? Does it align with my current goals and values? Do I realistically have the time and energy to complete it? And do I truly want to? You might find that some projects can be delegated to someone else. Others can be put on a definite on-hold list with a clear time frame, or simply let go of completely. And some commitments can be gracefully exited. It takes courage to say no or to admit that a project isn't going to happen. But the freedom that comes from closing those open loops is immense. It creates space for new, more meaningful experiences and allows you to invest your precious time and energy where it truly brings you joy and purpose in this stage of your life. Next, let's explore a type of clutter that lives deep within us. Often unseen but profoundly impactful negative self-talk and limiting beliefs. These are the internal narratives, the voices in our heads that tell us, "I'm too old for that. I'm not smart enough. I've always been clumsy," or "I can't learn new things." These beliefs, often formed early in life or reinforced over decades, become powerful filters through which we view the world and ourselves. They limit our potential, dampen our spirits, and can even stop us from pursuing new passions or experiences in our later years. This kind of mental clutter isn't just about feeling bad. It can lead to anxiety, depression, and even manifest as physical symptoms of stress. Think about the missed opportunities. Perhaps you've always wanted to try painting, but a voice tells you you're not artistic, or you've thought about joining a walking group, but a belief whispers, "You're not fit enough." These internal shackles are far more restrictive than any physical barrier. My friend Susan, for example, had always dismissed any thought of using a computer beyond simple emails. "Oh, I'm just not good with technology," she'd say. This was a deep-seated belief from her younger days. But during the pandemic, when staying connected digitally became vital, she was forced to confront this. With a bit of gentle encouragement and patience, she started taking online classes, slowly chipping away at that belief. Today, she's FaceTiming with her grandkids and even managing her online banking. She told me the biggest hurdle wasn't the technology itself, but the story she'd told herself for so long. How do we begin to declutter this internal dialogue? The first step is awareness. Start listening to the thoughts you have about yourself. When a negative thought arises, don't judge it, just notice it. Then, gently challenge it. Is it truly a fact? Or is it just an old belief? Are you holding yourself to an outdated standard? Can you reframe that thought instead of, "I'm too old to learn"? Try, "I might learn differently now, but I can still learn." Replace, "I'm not good enough" with, "I am capable and I am learning." Practice self-compassion, treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a dear friend. Surround yourself with positive influences, whether it's uplifting books, inspiring people, or content that encourages growth. This process isn't about eradicating every negative thought, but about reducing their power and frequency, allowing you to approach new experiences and challenges with an open mind and a resilient spirit. It's about building a foundation of self-acceptance and belief that will serve you beautifully in the years to come. Next, we'll dive into a form of clutter that can be incredibly challenging to address, but profoundly liberating once you do: toxic relationships. We're talking about those connections in your life that consistently leave you feeling drained, criticized, disrespected, or simply unhappy. These aren't just minor irritations. They are energy vampires that can silently erode your self-worth, increase your stress levels, and prevent you from fully enjoying the peace and joy you deserve in your later years. It's easy to feel obligated to maintain relationships, especially with family or long-standing friends, even when they've become one-sided or detrimental to your well-being. But just like physical clutter, these relationships take up valuable space in your emotional landscape, leaving less room for connection, warmth, and genuine support. Think about the friend who always brings up past grievances, the family member who is constantly critical, or the acquaintance who only calls when they need something. Each interaction might leave you feeling heavy, anxious, or unheard. My neighbor, Helen, for years felt deeply burdened by a friendship that had become incredibly negative. Her friend would often complain about her own life, rarely listen to Helen, and frequently offer unsolicited, critical advice. Helen felt trapped by the long history they shared, but the friendship was chipping away at her happiness. It took a lot of courage, but she gradually started setting boundaries, limiting contact, and eventually, gently distanced herself. She told me it was like releasing a heavy weight she didn't even realize she was carrying, and it opened the door for her to cultivate new, healthier friendships based on mutual respect and joy. So, how do we begin to declutter these emotional connections? The first step is honest recognition. Identify which relationships consistently leave you feeling worse, not better. Then, consider setting boundaries. This might mean limiting the frequency of contact, changing the topics you discuss, or politely excusing yourself from conversations that turn negative. If boundaries don't work, or if the relationship is truly destructive, reducing contact or even creating distance might be necessary. This doesn't mean you have to be unkind. It means prioritizing your own peace and well-being. Focus on nurturing the relationships that uplift you, that fill your cup, and that bring genuine warmth and support into your life. Remember, your time and emotional energy are precious resources, and you have every right to invest them wisely in connections that truly nourish your spirit. This isn't about abandoning people, but about cultivating a social circle that truly supports your desire for a lighter, more joyful life. Finally, let's consider something that can subtly prevent us from growing and fully embracing life's richness: outdated routines and habits. As we age, it's easy to fall into comfortable patterns, watching the same television shows, eating the same foods, taking the same routes, or even resisting new technologies or ways of doing things simply because that's how we've always done it. While routine can be comforting, rigid adherence to outdated habits can lead to stagnation, reduce our mental flexibility, and close us off from new experiences and opportunities that could bring immense joy and vitality. This isn't about breaking good habits like exercise or healthy eating. It's about questioning the habits that no longer serve us or limit our potential for growth and engagement with the world. Think about the joy of discovering a new passion, the mental stimulation of learning a new skill, or the excitement of meeting new people. If our daily lives are dictated by habits formed decades ago, we might inadvertently be missing out on these enriching experiences. My aunt, for instance, used to spend every evening watching the same 4 television channels, regardless of what was on. She often complained about feeling bored. Yet she resisted suggestions to explore streaming services, audiobooks, or even new walking paths when her old TV finally broke, and she was forced to get a new one with smart features. It was an unexpected catalyst. She slowly started exploring documentaries, international films, and online learning platforms. She discovered a passion for armchair travel and became an avid listener of podcasts about history. This simple shift in a daily routine completely transformed her evenings, replacing boredom with curiosity and engagement. So, how do we declutter these outdated routines? Start by observing your day. Are there activities you do out of sheer habit that no longer bring you joy or value? Question the why. Why do you always take the same route to the grocery store? Why do you always eat the same breakfast? Why do you stick to only one type of social activity? Then, experiment. Try a new recipe. Explore a different park for your walk. Listen to a new genre of music. Or consider taking a beginner's class in something entirely new. Embrace technology if it can simplify your life or open up new avenues for connection and learning. This isn't about abandoning comfort, but about intentionally injecting novelty and adaptability into your life. It's about cultivating a mindset that welcomes change, embraces learning, and seeks out new ways to experience the world. By letting go of habits that no longer serve your growth, you create space for spontaneity, joy, and a richer, more vibrant life, proving that our later years can be a time of incredible discovery and renewed vitality. So, We've explored 6 powerful areas where decluttering can transform your life, from the physical possessions cluttering your home and the digital files weighing down your devices, to the unfinished projects that sit heavily on your mind, the negative self-talk that limits your potential, the toxic relationships that drain your energy, and the outdated routines that keep you from new adventures. It might seem like a lot to tackle, but remember, this isn't about perfection or deprivation. It's about creating more space, more ease, and more joy in your life. The real surprise I mentioned at the beginning isn't some hidden trick or magical shortcut. It's the profound sense of liberation and peace that comes when you intentionally shed what no longer serves you. It's the unexpected lightness you feel in your spirit, the clarity in your mind, and the newfound energy that emerges when you free yourself from the weight of accumulated things, whether they are physical objects, digital files, mental burdens, emotional baggage, draining relationships, or rigid habits. This process of letting go isn't about losing anything. It's about gaining so much more freedom, more time for what truly matters, more genuine connections, and a deeper sense of self-acceptance and joy. It's about opening yourself up to new possibilities and embracing the vibrant person you are becoming. Remember, small changes can make a monumental difference. You don't have to tackle everything at once. Pick one area, one drawer, one belief, one relationship, or one habit, and start there. Each step, no matter how small, contributes to a lighter, freer, and more fulfilling life as you step into your 70s and beyond. I'd love to hear from you. Which of these areas resonates most with you? Have you already started decluttering in any of these ways? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your insights might be just what someone else needs to hear. If you found this video helpful and inspiring, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps us reach more people who can benefit from this message. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more practical tips and uplifting content designed to help you live your best life at every age. Thank you for watching. And remember, live lighter, feel free.